Hello everyone, today I am going to explain my experiment number 2 in Data Science Ecosystem Lab. It is exploratory data analysis. Before applying any machine learning algorithm, we first need to understand our data set. The process is called exploratory data analysis. It helps us to understand the structure of data, identify the missing values, detect outliers, and discover useful patterns and relationships. The aim of our experiment is to demonstrate the exploratory data analysis using Python for data science applications. EDA is one of the most important steps in data science. It helps us to clean and understand the data set before building machine learning models. During EDA, we summarize the data, handle the missing values, and detect the outliers and visualize relationship between different columns. Four major steps in EDA are describing the data, handling missing values, handling outliers, and understanding the relationship using plots. And there are some set of questions and I am going to explain about it. The first question is about to import the stores file into a pandas data frame and display the first 15 rows. And for this, in the first program I loaded the stores dataset into a data frame using read_csv file. Finally, I displayed the first 15 rows using head of 15 to get an overview of the dataset. And the second question is about to display the total number of rows and columns in a data frame. So I displayed the total number of rows and columns using the shape function. This tells us the size of the dataset. And third question is about to display the statistical information of the quantitative and qualitative columns. So I obtained statistical data like mean, minimum, maximum, count, and standard deviation for numerical columns. Using describe of include equal to subject function, I displayed the summary of the categorical columns. And fourth question is about to find the maximum value of the total column and count the count of the branch column and standard deviation of the edge column. To find the maximum value of the total column and to count of the branch column and to find the standard deviation of the edge column, this function helps us summarize the data. And in fifth question, they asked to increase the values in the price column by 20% and store the result in a new column and the updated price. So I increased every value in the price column by 20% and stored the result in a new column using updated_price function. This demonstrates how to create a new column using arithmetic operations. And sixth question is about to count the total number of the null values in the data frame and replace all the null values in numerical columns with 0. So I checked for missing values using isNull function and I replaced all missing numerical values with 0 using fillNA function. This improves data quality before analysis. Then comes the seventh question. To append two new records of the data frame and display the updated data frame. So I created two new records and appended them to the existing data frame using concat function. This shows how to add data into an existing data set. Then in the eighth question, they asked to group the data frame by branch and calculate the sum, mean, maximum of the total column. So I grouped the data based on branch column using group by function. Then I calculated the sum, mean, maximum values of the total column for each branch. Grouping helps compare different categories. Then in the ninth question, they asked us to create a new data frame from stores dataset, identifying the column with the highest number of missing values, and we want to display the resulting data frame. So I identified which column has the highest number of missing values, and I removed that column using drop function. This helps to improve the quality of the data set. Then in the 10th question, they asked us to drop the 10th and 12th rows from the data frame and displace the updated data frame. So I removed the 10th and 12th rows using the drop function. It removes the unnecessary rows as it is a part of data cleaning. Then comes the 11th question, to find the frequency count of the unique values in the payment and product line columns, which we want to display the values in percentage and sort them in the ascending order. So I calculated the frequency percentage of the payment column and the product column using value underscore count function. Then I sorted the values in ascending order. This shows how often the category appears. The 12th question is about to display the first n largest and n smallest values of the total column using the n largest function and n smallest function methods. So I displayed the largest and the smallest total values using n largest function and n smallest function. This helps to identify the largest and the smallest sales transactions. Then in the 13th question, they asked us to display the first 5 and last 5 records where age should be greater than 5, quantity should be greater than 5, and rating should be greater than 8. So I filtered the dataset using multiple conditions. I displayed only those records where the age is greater than 25, quantity is greater than 25, and the rating is greater than 8. Then I displayed the first 5 and the last 5 matching record. This demonstrates the Boolean filtering. Then in the 14th question, we want to display any 5 columns using the LOC function method. So I selected any 5 columns using LOC function method. A log function is mainly used to select the rows and columns using labels. The 15th question, they asked us to identify whether the value electronic accessories exist in the product line column using any function method. So I checked whether electronic accessories exist in the product line column using any function. The output will be either true or false. In the 16th question, they asked us to use the apply function to calculate the square root of the price column. So I used the apply function to calculate the square root of every value in price column. This demonstrates of applying a function to every row of a column. In 17th question, they asked us to create a copy of. In the 17th question, they asked us to create a copy of a data frame and permanently remove the payment column from the copied data frame. So I created a copy of data frame using copy function. Then I permanently removed the payment column using drop function with the in place equal to true. The original data set remains unchanged. 18th question is about to create a new copy of the data frame and permanently remove the row number 5 from the copy data frame. So I again created a copy of the data frame, then I permanently deleted number row 5, then I demonstrate row deletion. The 19th question is to display the age column from the row numbers of 10 to 15 using the ilog function method. The ilog function method is used for integer based indexing. The 20th question is to find the mean, median and mode of the rating column. I calculated the mean, median and mode of the rating column. These are called measures of central tendency. The 21st question is to rank all transactions based on the total amount in a descending order and create a new column named sales underscore rank. So I ranked all transactions based on total amount in descending order. Ranking was stored in a new column called sales underscore rank. This helps identify the highest sales. Then in the 22nd question, they asked us to group the data frame by product line and calculate the total quantity sold, average price and average rating. So I grouped the data by product line, then I calculated total quantity sold, average price, average rating. This gives a performance of each product category. Then comes the 23rd question, which we want to create a pivot table showing the average total for each product line across different branches. So I created a pivot table. The pivot table displays the average total for each product line across different branches. Pivot table summarizes large data sets into an easy readable format. 24th question is to display the top highest ranked transactions based on sales rank column. So I displayed the top highest transactions using the sales rank column. This quickly identifies the best performing sales. The 25th question is to group the data frame by branch and payment method and calculate the average total, average rating and the total quantity for each group and display the results in descending order of average total. So finally I grouped the data by the both branch and the payment method. Then I calculated average total, average rating and total quantity and display the results in ascending order based on the average total. This helps compare sales performance across branches and payment methods. Apart from the program, I also learned some important concepts. The description of data. This include function like head, tail, information, describe, shape function, values and index functions. It helps me to understand the data set before analysis. And handling the missing values. Sometimes data sets contain empty values using missing values, which we called as missing values. We identify them using isNull function and replace or remove them using drop_NA function or fill_NA function. This improves the accuracy of analysis. Handling the outliers. Outliers are unusual or extreme values that are very different from the rest of the data. They can affect the analysis. Common techniques to detect them were box plot, scatter plot, z-score, interquartile range. Understanding the relationship. I also studied visualization technique. A histogram shows how data is distributed. A heat map shows the correlation between different numerical variables. These visualizations helps us discover patterns and relationship in the data set. Finally, we completed the exploratory data analysis and it was successfully performed using Python. What I learned from this experiment is how to import data sets into Python, how to explore and summarize data, how to clean missing values, how to filter and group data, and how to create new columns, how to rank and sort records, how to use pivot tables, and why exploratory data analysis is an important step before applying machine learning algorithms. And that's all about my second experiment. Thank you.